Well, this week's Bushel Up, I'll start off by just announcing that we do have some meetings next week. If you haven't seen the flyers out or haven't picked up on it on social media, we'll attach that. Really the point of these meetings is to kind of go through the 5 key steps that we see at Owners Acres that have really been influencing our yields, getting us to those 300 bushel marks and above. We'll talk through those. We'll share our results from last year, share results from Real Farm Research. And in addition, we'll take a little time and talk about some of these new ideas, new products that are being thrown around out there. I know you've been to a lot of winter meetings and had a lot of stuff thrown at you, a lot of guys knocking on your door. So I want to debunk some myths, maybe set the record straight on a few things, and make sure that we properly understand what we're doing out there. So we'll take a little time to do that. Please sign up so we make sure we have enough food for you, and definitely looking forward to seeing you then. Topic this week is going to be fungicide. Just make sure you have a good plan. I know we don't think about fungicides necessarily this time of the year, but there is a strategy that you need to have in place to make sure you're giving yourself coverage throughout the year, not only from a disease perspective, but also that plant health perspective. So 4 key windows where we can apply fungicides in furrow. Your seed does have some fungicide on it, but that's to protect the seed from rotting in the ground and keep it viable. What we're talking about is adding something like an Evito or Tapera, a very systemic fungicide in furrow that is allowed to move through that plant. Usually between V3, V4 is when plants get inoculated with fusarium that turns into crown rot, maybe some anthracnose very late in the year. We don't see it till August, September. But that happens as that plant's coming out of the ground, very young. If it gets injured, we get a lot of dirt blown in the whirl. That's that infection point. So getting that early protection is valuable. We don't skip it at Owners Acres. We missed it one year and it cost us big time. So when we move into that V5, V7, the typical throw it in with my herbicide application, maybe my micronutrient application. Very good window. It does protect that lower plant, but it does not go back and undo any damage that's been done prior to that. We can protect that lower canopy, those small leaves. But this timeline, we can mitigate some stress if we have bad weather, but we're not going to fix that. But we do have a good foundation moving forward. We've kind of implemented the full canopy strategy. That's when we'll go in furrow. We'll come back full canopy at Owners Acres, where V10, V12, when we have that full canopy, that 12th leaf typically is going to be your ear leaf. We can get full coverage on that with our sprayer going over top, get great lower coverage. Most of our diseases early in the year start from the ground up, like gray leaf spots, so we've got good protection against that firing up. And then the Tassel Time can prevent from the top down. And we look at southern rust, we look at maybe tar spot. If that turns out to be a big problem for us, we're protecting that upper canopy, maybe some of the diseases that blow in or move in through humidity, through wind. So a good full approach. Let's make sure we understand how many modes of action are we getting. There's a lot of differences in fungicides. It used to be pretty simple. Now there's all kinds of products, from generics to some of the Cadillacs out there. And that all revolves around how many modes, are they new modes? And then secondly, are they systemic? We want products that move up and down in the plant, that translocate out through the leaf. That really helps us when it comes to full plant protection. It is hard to get coverage when you have full canopy, even with a ground rig, with a pivot, with an airplane. But if you get a good systemic program, a lot of those issues go away and we're able to protect that plant. And most importantly, get those plant health benefits. Disease is one thing, but helping that plant respire at night is another. So just make sure you kind of think through what your strategy is going to be going into the year, especially if you're looking at protecting yourself early with an in-furrow.